What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now I'm really excited to make this video today because we're going to be talking about Matt Diggity's Affiliate Lab. Now I recently bought this course maybe about 6 months ago, and my mind was kind of blown with the information that I was able to find. Now one of those things when you come across Matt Diggity that comes to mind is you look at him and you think, okay, well this guy's at the top of the game. Like, you know, when it comes to SEO, he's at the complete top. Like, and immediately he's one of those people that you just trust. So I don't know how it was for you, or if you're on the bench about buying the course or whatever it may be. There are a few pros and cons to the course which I'd like to explain today, and we're going to go through a complete overhaul of every single module, all the different things that you can learn in the course, and I'll take you through some of my own personal experiences in regards to the pros and cons that I find and who the course I think is for as well. Alright, so what we're going to go through first of all is who is Matt Diggity and what should you know about him. Okay, so Matt Diggity is a guy who's currently based in Chiang Mai. He's from America. I'm not sure what state he's from specifically, but he's also the co-founder of Authority Builders. So many of you may be familiar with that. It's a place where you can actually purchase backlinks, and they're vetted links and trustworthy, so on and so forth. Now he has multiple sites. He's making over $50,000 per month. So he's at a very high level when it comes to SEO and affiliate websites. He shares multiple case studies throughout his YouTube channel, his website, Diggity Marketing, and also throughout the course as well, where he shows one of his sites that he purchases, where he bought a site, I believe, for under like $15,000 or whatever it may have been, and it was making $2,000 per month, and within 11 months he actually took the site to $20,000 per month. So this is very high scale affiliate marketing with SEO, and he has multiple different businesses that he runs. As I said, he's a very credible opponent. You can go and do your research. I'll leave a link to his website in the description box. So what makes Matt Diggity different? Well, there are a few things, and one of the things that stood out to me in regards to the course and Matt Diggity just himself is the fact that he approaches SEO like an engineer. Now he does have an engineering background which I connected with and resonated with, because that's very much the same for me, and I love the fact that he tests everything. So nothing actually comes out without single variable testing. So it goes through extreme testing before he puts it into a course or even shares it across any of his social channels. Another thing that I really like is that he leaves no stone unturned. So what you find with a lot of courses that you take is that when you go through, you always have some other questions. Now that's not to say that you won't have questions after going through the Affiliate Lab, but what happens is he meticulously goes through every possible scenario to give you a potential answer, and his answers are not very vague like what you get across anything that you're learning on the internet. The course is designed to actually help you to rank in high competition niches. So with a lot of affiliate marketing and SEO, you'll find that a lot of gurus or teachers will teach you to learn SEO by finding low competition keywords and then writing good quality content, whereas he actually takes a complete different approach, and it's quite the opposite, where he goes for the higher level keywords and then teaches you how to build links to that content to actually outrank your competitors. So he can take you into absolutely any industry, any niche, you know, any high level, whether it be like health, fitness, business, like all these different niches that you would usually stay away from. And it's heavily focused on link building, as I just touched on. So, you know, what I like about it is I think that you need to have every kind of possible way to do SEO in your tool set. So even if you don't build links actively, I believe you still need to understand how they work. And if you want to learn about backlinks, this is probably going to be the best course on backlinks, because that is his whole world. He's very good with link building, and everything that he teaches inside of the course is predominantly focused around then later hitting that content with some links. Lastly, I like the fact that he doesn't teach you to monetize with Amazon. So they do teach you on monetizing with Amazon if that's what you choose to, because they know the majority of people who are starting out are going to want to do that. But the whole sole focus of the course and his sites are not monetized with Amazon. So he does a lot of like lead gen stuff or private affiliate work. So reaching out to the actual vendors that you might even find on Amazon sometimes and establishing a relationship directly with that vendor. Okay, so this can become quite profitable obviously because you can negotiate higher payouts, so on and so forth. But I'll leave all of that information for you to see inside of the course. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to the computer, and I'm going to take you through exactly every single module that you can find in this course. So this will be the ultimate breakdown that you'll find on YouTube for the Affiliate Lab by Matt Diggity. Let's get into it.
Okay, so if we take a look at this from just a high level standpoint, we can see that these are the different courses that you get within the course. Okay, so these are all courses within themselves, to be fair. What you get here is the Affiliate Lab, which is the course that's advertised, the main course, yeah? And within that, you get different sections, modules, so on and so forth. Then you get the website flipping masterclass. You get the beginner lab, downloadables. So these are all his templates and SOPs. The truth about penalties. So how to recover from manual penalties should you get yourself in that situation. Outreach masterclass. So this is all about outreach. And you've actually got the founder of Ninja Outreach who coordinates this section, this module or course I should say. And then you've got an affiliate marketing module. So this is specifically for affiliate marketing with a website, with a niche site or an authority site, and how to promote products, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're going to go through absolutely everything. This is going to be a long video. All right, so if we go into the first section, we'll start with the beginner lab, and the reason why is because it's the first place that you would go if you don't know anything. All right, so what he goes through here is domains, like what they are, how they work, how to buy them, where to buy them. Hosting, same for all of that and all of the above. Installing WordPress, pages versus posts, because a lot of people don't understand the differences and where you would use one or the other. Categories and tags, hierarchy and things like that. Google Analytics, WordPress plugins, like mandatory plugins that you might have. Basic pages, basics of optimization, schema markup, and then using some tools, which is Ahrefs, SEMrush, so on and so forth. And then he's got the different paths that you can take, you know, of how you're going to go through. All right, then if we go into the lab now, this is the main course that you're buying, okay? So we've got some bonus sections here as well that is now included. And to be fair, I would vouch for Matt Diggity. This course is constantly updated. Throughout the 6 months that I've had the course, I believe it's had like maybe over like 5 or 6 updates like since then, and he's constantly adding new relevant information. All right, so what you've got here is introduction, most important lessons, joining the Facebook group. Now I just want to put it out there, the Facebook group alone is worth quite a lot if he was to charge monthly for that. There's so many high level people inside of that group. I don't think I've ever been in a group where there's so many different high level people within one space. And I'm just going to throw up a screenshot there because Matt Diggity actually asked different people within the group of the varying levels of their success, and there were like I believe almost 16 people making over $1 million per year within the group, very active. Then you've got like a lot of gurus and things like that who you see teaching on YouTube. They are also students in the group, you know, so there's a lot of credible people in the group, and I've never actually put a question in without it getting answered. So you always get answers in that group, and it's very highly engaging. 6-figure flipper club. So he puts you into like a special club or something if you sell a site for over $100,000. Okay, so you've got to get into that bracket to get into the club. I don't know what else other perks you get in there as well. Medic Buster. So this was a Google update that happened some time ago. So he just basically takes you through the different modules that cover that and how to go about that accordingly, you know, so you're not breaching any kind of terms of service with Google. Okay, then we've got niche selection. So he takes you through introductions for each kind of module. He has an intro, but niche sites versus authority sites. So you can clearly establish the difference between the two. Niche hunting. So how to go out and actually source different niches to filter through. Niche grading tools. So again, as I said, everything's quite specific with Matt Diggity. So he gives you specific numbers and variables to go off to find a niche and qualify it. So he'll say, oh, well, this has a certain level of authority, then mark it a 1. And he gives you like a spreadsheet where you put in the different numbers of the top 10 sites you find ranking for your main keyword for a niche site, and then obviously you mark it, and if you get a score above XYZ, then obviously it's a good option to go for. And he does that based on the authority sites that are ranking, their backlinks that they have, how many credible links they have, all these different things. Why he doesn't use Amazon. Now what's funny is he made this way before the Amazon update, because he's known for a long time that Amazon's not really friendly to affiliates. How to find non-Amazon affiliate programs. So you've got a section there. Then you've got on-site SEO. Okay, so this is all like on-site optimization. So this is all the stuff that you do on WordPress. So you've got choosing a domain name, purchasing a domain and hosting. Then you've got NAP, which is essentially just creating an alias or a persona on your website. So he shows you how to create that ethically, you know. Then we've got keyword research. So it takes you into his keyword research process. He has a method called the recursive keyword research process, gathering and assigning your keywords. So he does still use a bit of a dated method where you actually manually put in like multiple different keywords strategically into your article. Now, I believe Surfer does a lot of that for you, so you don't have to actively force keywords into your article, but that's the method he uses, and obviously he's very successful with that. Speeding up the process, so how you can speed up your keyword research process, and that's essentially using Ahrefs. He teaches you there. And then website documentation template. So this is just a template that he helps you to document your entire website with. Just to show you something like this. So it shows you like managing your anchor text ratios, inbound and outbound links. You've also got blog post ideas, you know, research, so on and so forth. I think I added that in there, to be fair. But you've got information on logins that you keep in there. Then you've got like Social Fortress, you know, money site links, so on and so forth. Now, I actually use a tool called Linkio for all of this, like for all of the backlink stuff. So I'll talk about that in a different video. But if you do want to know more about Linkio, just ask questions below or go check it out. And it does cover quite a lot that you'll find in the course. Then you've got like finding informational content ideas. Now, he teaches you to go out and source this like based on like a proper SEO kind of way. Like, you know, what you'll find a lot of SEO guys do, where they use like filler content and things like that for niche sites. Personally, I don't build sites like that. I actually go and source my informational content just like I source my money keywords. I go and do keyword research for them and then go rank them, you know. So even if they're not the highest of volume, I try and rank every single page on a site. Whereas some of these, he's not trying to rank them, but he does for authority sites. Then you've got site architecture. So he shows you how to set up like all of your navigation bars and, you know, how to do hierarchy with siloing, topical relevance, which is something that I recently experienced. This is where essentially Google perceives your site to be relevant around a particular topic. So say, for example, you're all about swimming, but then you have an article about wakeboarding. You might think it's related, but in the eyes of Google, it's not. So you might not rank for it. Whereas a site all about wakeboarding would have a lot more relevancy going for the same keyword as you, even if they've got lower authority, they may get better results. Then he gives you a demo of the actual siloing process, so how to whip it all together, you know, how to put this thing all into context, because it's quite complex to build a site strategically with siloing. Okay, so if you're unsure about how to interlink your sites to create authority and topical relevancy and hierarchy, this is the video for that. Okay, then we've got content building. So the importance of quality content building, recommended content providers. So he actually gives you the content providers that he currently uses. To be fair, they're a bit expensive. I don't personally use, I believe, any of them. I use one of them actually that he recommends, but they're quite expensive. So if you're not making quite a lot of money or you don't have a huge amount to invest, then this can become quite lengthy and expensive. Then we've got content lengths. So how to determine the correct length for your content. Okay, content requests, including templates. So this is what you put out to your writers. You want to templatize everything, so that way you can obviously, you know, improve on your template and adjust it for your writers. Okay, he's got TF-IDF analysis. Now all this kind of section here has now been taken by Surfer SEO because it does all of this. But what this is term frequency, inverse document frequency. So this is based on like your word count and how many other competing sites are using like similar words within the niche. That will determine how many times you should use it on your page. So it gives you like an average for your keyword density. Then you've got subtopic coverage. So although you know the main topic you should be covering on a page, what are the subtopics that you should have, you know, and this is based on search intent and different things. And then reviewing your content. So this is essentially proofreading the content after your writer submits it. So how do you analyze that to make sure that it's up to par, you know, because if you're not writing it yourself, then you need to be able to still identify that it's of high quality. Then we've got site building. So this is on single page basis. Okay, so you've got introduction, uploading content, setting up child pages. So this is obviously again establishing main articles as hierarchy, where to get images and how to upload them. Now he teaches you to do it how I teach for free on my YouTube channel, which is sourcing them from Google and so on. Personally, the best experience I've ever had with getting photos is from Deposit Photos. That's like the best image website I've ever experienced on the internet. It is a paid service, but you get the best images that you can possibly find. And they have just an archive of a huge amount of photos and videos and so on, all different things. Adding videos to your pages. Now, again, this is quite simple. You know how to add a video. You just copy the link into WordPress, or you do it like with Thrive. Setting up your tables and lists. Again, he shows you to do this with like Thrive Architect. Setting up table of contents. He shows you two ways where you can use the plugin, or you obviously use Thrive Architect. And then Thrive Architect tips and tricks, which is nothing more than you can find on the internet if you go and watch a few Thrive videos on their actual YouTube channel as well. Okay, now this is site-wide building. So this is like your whole entire site. So it's got an intro again to what this module is going to be about. And then you've got how to choose a theme, how to set up website menus, how to set up your sidebar, author boxes and attributions. Okay, so putting author boxes on each of your pages, and he explains how to do that, whether you want to code it or you want to do it another way with a plugin. Then setting up your about, contact and terms of service pages. Setting up an XML sitemap using a plugin, so on and so forth. It's the common plugin that everyone recommends. Indexing on-site pages, so this is manually submitting your pages to Search Console. How to do an Ahrefs audit. Again, that's just the audit service on Ahrefs, which I have a subscription with as well. How to install Clicky. Now this I don't use. Pro Rank Tracker, I personally use Key Search for that, and Ahrefs. And then trust factors, so how to establish different trust factors on your site. So this is through like building social profiles and using directory links, so on and so forth. And maybe you're going to register yourself for Google My Business and all these different things that he teaches. Then we've got on-site optimization. So we've got an intro there, and then he gives you the 3 kings. Now I'm not going to give you exactly what that is, but this is just the main 3 things that you should focus on any given single page on your website to give Google the absolute most information on what you want to rank for. Okay, then how to avoid topical duplication. So this is what causes keyword cannibalization. This is where Google's trying to rank 2 of your different pages and it's unsure which one to rank, so you just get dumped in the ranks for both of them. Subheadings, again, this is like how to set up your subheadings and how important they are, how to put them together. Content optimization and keyword density. Okay, so he shows you all of the different densities and how to include secondary keywords, primary keywords, all those different things. Schema markup. So bells and whistles is all like outbound linking, and then you've got like schema, I believe, in there, or some meta description optimization, things like that. TF-IDF optimization, as I said, that's now being replaced with Surfer, and he's actually got Mike Shusky, who is one of the co-founders, I believe, of Surfer SEO. I'm not sure if he's a co-founder or something else. He's the guy on the face of the product, and he gives you a tutorial, which I believe is like, look, that's an hour and a half long, showing you exactly how to use Surfer to your benefit and how to get your head around it, because it can be quite confusing when you first start out. Then natural language processing optimization. So you still might want to go through these modules to understand how Surfer works and how it determines information. Then how to steal featured snippets. I did really like this because he shows you the different varying types of featured snippets and how to go about different ones. And then he's got this guy, Tom, who's like a specialist with testing featured snippets. And the good thing is you learn so many different things, because I never knew that featured snippets can be gotten in a space of like less than 24 hours, and sometimes just a few hours in a day. From optimizing your content for, you could be ranked for a snippet. Okay, so you can get quick results with this kind of thing. And then he's got ranking in Google Images, like using alt tags and all that different stuff. Then we've got creating affiliate links, link cloaking, which many of you probably already know what that is. That's essentially masking your link so it appears nice and friendly, like I'm doing in the description box with the link to the course, because it's an affiliate link. Yeah, so I've got like my website name and then it's cloaked with, / affiliate lab. And then we've got how to create Amazon compliant affiliate links. Okay, so this you should be doing anyway, like just using Amazon's site Stripe if you are going to do Amazon. But obviously he just gives you the information because it's designed for beginners to intermediate to advanced as well. And then we've got CRO. Now most courses do not have this. This is one of the sections that just separate this course from most courses. It's got conversion rate optimization. So getting the visitors to stay on the page, getting the visitors to read up to your call to action, setting up your call to actions with conversion friendly content, choosing the perfect CTA. So he shows you how to split test whether you should be using buttons or contextual links, and different types of buttons, wording against other wording, so on and so forth, negotiating higher payouts with vendors, today's date plugin, like using that to optimize for specific time zones so it's always relevant content, creating creative monetization. So this is where he shows you the case study of where he takes the site from 2K to 20K in 11 months. And with this, he comes out with very unorthodox methods of monetizing a website that you may not have even thought of before. You know, so I'm going to leave you to find that information out if you want to see what's in there. Click-through rate optimization. So this is essentially optimizing your meta, title, description, so on and so forth, so you get more clicks to your actual pages. Then he's got display ads. So he runs a test on a website specifically, giving you the answers that you may always be looking for. Should you put ads on your money pages, you know, on where you have affiliate links? And then, you know, does it make a difference to your site speed? Does it make a difference to your monetization? Does it make a difference to your click-through rate? Like if you got like email opt-ins and things like that. Well, he takes you through all of that inside of a case study that he runs inside of that video. And then we've got website maintenance. So this is after you've established a site, like after it's built, what do you do? How often do you add new fresh content? Then he's got keyword grabbing, which is essentially finding keywords that you accidentally rank for, so on and so forth. Fresh new content ideas, how to source that and find that and write that up. And then identifying when you need to rewrite a piece of content. What are the different variables that you need to look at? What are the indicators that help you to determine whether you should actually rewrite the article or just delete it altogether, okay? Then we've got offsite SEO. So all of this is now offsite, like backlinking and setting up other social profiles, all of that kind of thing. All right, so this is creating a Google persona. We've got setting up your Gmail account, Google Search Console, and then we've got all of the different social medias that he advises you to set up, and then automating that with your website. So when you publish, it publishes across all of those social medias with if this, then that. Yeah, I'm sure many of you know what that does. Likes and follows, setting up social metas and open graph tags. So if you're shared on social media, how your site actually looks and for the meta descriptions and so on. Then we've got anchor text analysis. This is another thing that you don't find in many courses. You don't really find this kind of scientific information. We've got how to determine your niche specific target anchor text. So on a per page basis, people don't optimize their anchor text. So people think, oh, I'm just going to do like a bit of branded, a bit of URL, a bit of random miscellaneous, but you need to determine this on a per page basis. So he actually helps you to define that and then gives you a demo of taking you through that process and identifying what anchor text you need to be using for particular pages to outrank your competitors and stay safe, most importantly. Then he's got local citations for affiliate sites, geotagging images and ordering local citations like his vendors and so on. Social signals, he takes you through all of that and when to use them. Then he's got his backlink strategy. Now this is the complete turning point for this course, where it's just, there's nothing that I've ever found on backlinks that compares to this. It takes you through building links through the sandbox phase, trustworthy phase, authority mode, where essentially your site's built up so much authority, you're instantly ranking, and he tells you what to do and where to focus the 80-20 at that point. Selecting links and anchors, doing outreach. He shows you outreach link velocities, which he shares for free in his ebook as well. So this is depending on the amount of traffic to how much links you should be building, because you can't have like 1,000 visitors and be building like 100 links a month. It's imbalanced. Yeah. Okay. So it needs to be in coordination with how much traffic you're getting to how naturally your links appear to be coming in. Okay. Then we've got on link diversity, like should you be building guest posts versus link insertions versus if you're going to use PBNs, all of that. So it shows you like, you know, what ones and how many to use depending on your situation. Skyscraper technique, which many of you know about Brian Dean, that he shares that on his website. That's where that came from. And then negotiating for cheap link insertion. So it gives you all of his templates to outreach to vendors. PBN linking. So if you want to learn the black hat stuff and you want to use a private blog network, he shows you about owning it. Like, so, you know, if you own it, he's got information for you, how to vet PBNs, okay? When PBNs don't work, what should you do? So on and so forth. And then how to use them effectively. Then he's got tier 2 link building. Now, this is another thing you don't find in a lot of courses these days anyway. What this is essentially a tier 1 link is a link that's linking directly to your money site or your money page. And then a tier 2 link is something that links to your tier 1 link. So there's a link going to the link that comes to your site. So that's how that kind of works out. Then we've got technical audit. So how to audit your site, because this is something that even if you're offering services to like a local business, How do you run an audit on their business? So that takes you through using Google Search Console, technical audits, negative SEO, so on and so forth. This is another thing that's very helpful, is when your site is stuck. So if you hit a plateau and you've got quite a lot of traffic, quite a lot of income coming in, but you just can't grow, then this shows you what to do. You know, he's got these methods: site size explosion, the setup technique, content markup injections, like publishing content, you know, in the way that he teaches you, and the nitty gritty of this whole kind of section. Then he's got authority sites. Okay, so this is now a different section. Everything prior to this is about niche websites. There is some information that entwines with the second half of this course. So you've got naming authority sites, which is quite different because you need to go quite broad on this kind of stuff, you know, when you're going to grow a site in all directions. Site architecture, advanced site architecture, so that's like the siloing effect but for authority sites, and how you should, you know, use hierarchy and all of that. Then we've got authority site examples, so it gives you a few examples, which is essentially just the same examples everyone gives: Wirecutter and whatever else. Content for authority sites, you know, like how to publish content, what type of content you should be putting on it. Authority site backlink consideration, so what links to use and where, you know, what kind of links should you be building to an authority site, what to do when you hit authority mode on an authority site, and then pitfalls of it. You know, essentially these are common things that you should know if you're any kind of SEO, that authority site's going to take a lot longer and whatever else. So he just goes in depth with all of that information. EAT, whether it's real and how to get around it if it is. And then in closing, and then he gives you like a sleep hacking thing, which is quite handy. I mean, I was already using these blue light blocking glasses. He recommends those, and he's got a few other things like going to bed at the same time, the basic things you should be doing anyway. Then he's got a 6-figure flip story out, but I can't even remember if it's like $500,000 he flipped the site for or something like that. And then the May algorithm update, so this is a new update, you can see 2020, and he's got Eric in here, which is who's sharing a ton of information about the update and what happened and how to move forward with that. The next section is the website flipping masterclass. So this is specifically about flipping sites, which he recommends you should get into after you've done your first sale. So once you've sold your first site, why keep building them from scratch? Because there's a lot of uncertainty with a brand new site, as many of you will know. There's no guarantee that your site's going to rank. So you could potentially go and just buy a site that's already successful but selling for cheap if you got a lump sum of money, and then just build it up with your skill sets you've developed and then sell it on, you know, at a profit. So this is what Matt does, and I believe like he keeps like kind of percentage of sites that are just like monthly cash flow websites, and then he's got some that he just flips every so often. So I can't remember exactly the percentages on his portfolio, but he gives you all of that information inside of here. So you've got like when you're about to sell a site, like how do you prepare? Because if you're brand new, you don't even know when to sell your site. Like when is the point, the indicator that you should be following to sell your site? So he gives you that information, like when should you sell, you know. Then he's got selling an affiliate site, a $235,000 case study, selling an e-commerce store case study for this e-commerce store at $294,000, selling an SEO agency, prepping a business for sale using a brokerage versus private sale, so all of the things to watch out for and the pros and cons to each, becoming a pro negotiator to get a better sale price, okay, understanding deal structures, so how to put everything together, why buying business is bigger money. Then it's got Matt Diggity on buying and selling websites, so that's like I think him standing on stage, so on and so forth, at the Chiang Mai SEO conference. I believe that's what that is. And then he's got a case study on how not to buy a site, so all the things you shouldn't be doing, and that's by a guy called Brian Willey. Okay, so when you move into the downloadables, that's just 2 downloadables. It's just like the basic things you should be following for your on-page and off-site SEO. Then he's got dealing with manual penalties, so he's got the truth about manual penalties, and then the algorithm update in 2018. So how to deal with manual penalties if you were to experience it, because he's actually overcome penalties in the past. He's only experienced one himself, but he's dealt with it for third parties and customers. So he teaches you all the different ways that you can overcome that and how to avoid it in the first place, more importantly. Okay, then we've got the Outreach Masterclass. Okay, so this is held, as I said, by the founder of Ninja Outreach and Matt Diggity and a few other people. And this just takes you through outreach, you know, so every possible way, prospecting, using social media, influencers, all different ways. So I could go through all of this, but I'm sure you can just take a look, like everything you need to know about spam compliance and outreach, you know, when you're doing email outreach and blasting, personalization versus spray and pay strategies, what is the appropriate number of emails to send per day, best time of day, how to engage with influencers, how much do influencers charge, how much do influencers usually charge, part 2, part 3, creating link-worthy content, what you need to know about templates and how to create them and all that different stuff. Most common outreach mistakes, types of outreach, guest post outreach, podcast outreach, general content promotion outreach, link building outreach, broken link building outreach, like every type of outreach you can possibly think of, skyscraper technique, absolutely everything. Then we've got what metrics should you be tracking in your outreach campaign, what is a blacklist, outreach management, managing campaigns, so on and so forth, split testing templates, replying, what you expect, what's a realistic expectation, outreach tools, Gmail, Ninja Outreach, the importance of follow-ups. You've got follow-ups, how many follow-ups should you send? You know, I don't know, like should you reply once, twice, 3 times, 10 times? Analyzing different kinds of follow-up templates, follow-up tools. How do you manage it in a spreadsheet, boomerang, Ninja Outreach, so on and so forth. So there is a ton of information. And again, not being funny, this could be a course on itself. Like you can see how long these videos are. Like this is just like over like 2 hours alone just in this section here, or hour and a half there. Then you've got like a bunch of different information. So it can be a little bit overwhelming. Personally, as you can see, and as you can tell from me reading that, I haven't even gone through that. I've gone through a couple of videos just looking through, but I use a different strategy. So one thing I would advise when you go through these kind of courses is pick one thing and stick to it. But because this is focused solely on SEO, it's quite easy to follow, so you won't get too lost because it's all about one thing. Then he's got email marketing, so creating a lead magnet. Like how do you even create a lead magnet? Yeah, like what color scheme should it have? How should it visually look? The graphics, so on and so forth. Where do you outsource that? He teaches you a lot of things that are quite expensive. I personally use Fiverr for a lot of these things, not to create the lead magnet. Well, I would as well, to be honest, but usually, like, you know, I believe he creates like an ebook for like $100 or $200. You can get that for like $30 on Fiverr, of high quality as well. Like, you know, some people might argue it's not, but they are very high quality from top sellers. And then how to collect email leads, email marketing software, writing automated email follow-up sequences. So if you have like, you can start to funnel traffic from like your top level pages through to other pages on your site and products that you want to get them to, like review articles. So if you've got an article that's performing very well, you can add some email opt-ins to that, capture leads and funnel them through like a back-end process to get them back up to your top performing content or your money content. So these are things that a lot of people don't teach. Then how to supercharge your website with paid ads, or your campaigns with your products and your emails. And then advanced email marketing strategies. And he's still building this, he's still adding to this, so this gets updated quite often.
So that about wraps it up for the Affiliate Lab by Matt Diggity. Now, what I'm going to do is just take you through a few pros and cons that I find to the course, because there are some good things and some bad things, and things that I think, or people I think, the course isn't for. Okay, so I'm going to identify all of that and the above in the following sections of this video. So one of the things is that it's super technical and some of the most advanced SEO training that I've seen ever. Okay, so whether it's link building, content building, or just SEO in general, this is probably one of the most advanced courses that you're ever going to experience, okay? Now, some of that can go against you in some ways as well, because it can get confusing. So if you're a complete brand new beginner, this course might not be for you. You know, if you have no clue on SEO and how it works or anything like that, you do not want to jump into the lab, because it is not beginner friendly like that. So whilst it's targeted for beginners as well, and he's covered all of that, and I think he created the beginner lab specifically for that. So that would have been the reason why he created that module, is purely because the main body of the course is very advanced strategies. And I've been doing SEO for quite some time, and some of it was even going over my head. I had to re-watch quite a lot of videos, and I still didn't get some things. I had to go and ask in a Facebook group. But that's where that Facebook group is very good, because that's another pro that I'll highlight. I've not been ever in the group and not had a response from either Matt Diggity or anyone else within the group. So there's some high level people, as explained in before, and there's people who are just behind the kind of computer who don't share themselves on social media and whatever else, and you'll find them inside of that group, you know. So it's a very credible group, and even if that was just like a monthly subscription based group or whatever, I would pay for it, like even if it wasn't included in the course, because it's that valuable. And you can meet some good friends from there, because I've got quite a few friends that I've established from the group that are making quite a substantial amount of money with SEO and help me with some things, you know, people ahead of me. Another pro is that the course is constantly updated. So while some of the information is a little bit kind of dated, like you see these old user interfaces, which I'll put as a con to the course, yeah, some of the information is a bit like the old search console and an old user interface for like YouTube and Facebook and things like that, because he's left those things in, because you can still apply the same methods today, but he hasn't re-recorded it. So for some people who first come into SEO and come into a course like this, they might think, you know, this is not new information, it's not relevant. So they might find that it's a bit dated and potentially want to refund it. That's another con. There's no refund policy. I believe you can't refund the course. So that's something that a lot of people won't like. But personally, I think it's worth every bit of your money and more, because you'll learn how to rank in high competition niches where you can make quite a lot of money. The other thing that's a pro is, I would say, it's a one-off payment. Now, that works as a pro and a con, because the con is the course is quite a substantial amount of money. I think it's like $900 or something like that if you buy it usually. Now, if you use my link below, which is an affiliate link, I'm quite open about that, you get a $200 discount, okay? So if you use my link, and I'll also incentivize that by giving you a free coaching call. So you can go check my YouTube channel. I've got a lot of videos on SEO. I know a thing or two about SEO. If you are a brand new beginner and you want to just reach out to someone or connect with someone that's actually doing it in the trenches, then you can utilize the option of getting the free coaching call with me if you use my affiliate link below to buy the course. All right, yeah, the pro to it is obviously that it's just a one-off, so you don't have to pay ongoing costs. Once you've paid out, you get unlimited updates for lifetime. He's always updating the course, as I said, you know, there's been multiple updates since I've been in there as well. You'll never ever need another affiliate marketing SEO course again. Like, I personally truly believe you will never need that again, because he teaches you how to do single variable testing, so you can go out yourself and develop upon that. Yeah, so a lot of courses will teach you like a method or a framework or whatever else, and then you kind of like got to figure everything else out. But he teaches you how to test, and ultimately that's where your results come from, because anyone can give you the information, but you've got to go out and test that information and go put your content out there, or go run some links and test that and see how that performs and optimize around that, you know, based on what works and what doesn't work and so on. So he teaches you how to do all of that. So the only thing you would be doing after this is you should be somewhat successful to go and carry out your own testing and further develop your skills from there. All right. Another pro is the fact that he teaches you how to build sites with non-Amazon products, okay? So every course and their grandmother teaches you how to build an Amazon affiliate website. He doesn't, okay? So he includes that information, and he even says, I don't want to share that, but because a lot of beginners are going to go and head out to Amazon and it's very high converting, a lot of people still want that information, so I've got to include it. But that's not the way that he builds his sites, or the way that he predominantly teaches you to build sites, which I think is a bonus, because Amazon doesn't really favor affiliates. You'll also get the most advanced link building strategies that you'll probably ever see on the internet, okay? The only level of link building I've ever seen come close to this is information that you can find in the Authority Site System by Gail and the other guy. But also, I believe someone like Kyle Roof could give you this kind of technical information as well. And there was even inside of one of his SEO conferences, a staff member from Google, you know, so there's very high level people attending his conferences and listening to what he has to say, you know, just eavesdropping if so be it. All right, and then personally, I feel that it's like the best SEO course. There's many other courses out there. The only other course I think comes close when it comes to specifically SEO is the Authority Site System. I don't really think there's any other course when it comes to SEO specifically that competes with this. But the cons to this is that it can get a little bit confusing. So if you're like brand new and you've had no experience, all of that information getting thrown at you can completely confuse you. So what I would say is go through the beginner lab section. I would imagine that's why he's created that section, to help beginners, because probably people were just giving him feedback saying this is way too much, it's too technical, and that way you can learn the basics and the fundamentals of SEO. And some of the people, like, you know, even on his testimonials that you see on the sales page, there's someone who came in and took a site from like $5,000 per month, which is quite good for most people. It's quite a substantial amount, more than I've made on a website anyway. And then some people are taking it up to like, he took it up to like, I think $40,000 a month or something like that. So it's quite ridiculous, the results that you see. And you don't really see those kind of results elsewhere, again, apart from like Create and Go, or, you know, Authority multi-site system or something like that. I don't believe income score is brung around those kind of results yet. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And then the second thing is that some things a little bit outdated. As I said, some of the user interfaces, so it's still relevant to apply today, but a lot changes on the internet. So for someone who's brand new, they might look at his interface and not be able to decipher the difference to apply it to what they're doing now, okay? So some of the things, I think the course was created like 3 or 4 years ago, so some of the information just is a little bit outdated, you know, but I still believe it's like one of the best courses you can get on SEO. If you get stuck, then obviously you can reach out to the Facebook group and all of that other stuff. So I guess that's totally up to you. Personally, do I recommend you get it? Yes, if you have some basic understanding of SEO. If you don't, and even if you're not like making, I would say if you're not making a couple $100 a month on SEO, then don't do it, because it's probably not the best course. Stick to like free information on YouTube and maybe go for like income score or something like that. But if you're making like a few $1,000s a month online, then I would definitely go into this kind of course. I wouldn't put it as a complete beginner course, because it's not. It's advertised as that because that's where the majority of people and customers are. But I personally would feel that it's like a course that's for people who have some basic knowledge, you know, because Matt Diggity is not a basic SEO, you know, so there are pros and cons to that, as you can understand. It's like trying to get information from someone like Elon Musk, you know, he can give you all the information, but is that the best person you should be learning from as a beginner? You know, so you need to think about that. But that's it. If you like this video or you have any questions about the course, then make sure to leave them below. My email address is also in the description box. If you have any questions, if you wanted to buy the course or you have any questions beforehand, then you can reach out to me. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm to push this video out there. As with always, if you're brand new, subscribe, because I push out regular videos, regular reviews, and I'm a real customer of the course. As you see, I logged in, you know, my email, if you spotted that, or you see my name or whatever, it's all real stuff, you know. So I went out and actually bought this course. I think not for the 700 discount you're getting, sorry. I got it for like 900 or whatever it was. Yeah, well worth the money. And I'm happy with it. I'm working on a site at the moment with the methods that he teaches, and I'll be sharing that publicly on a case study. All right, so that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.